Hello and welcome along to this magnificent Lusail International Circuit in Qatar. What a venue for the penultimate round of MotoGP in 2023. Things are a little bit different from the last time that we joined you from Qatar 20 months ago. A vast redevelopment work to the pit complex, to the hospitality unit, to the commentary boxes, the press area, everything in between as well. And just look at this. A state-of-the-art facility, by far and away, quite easily jumps in at number one on the places we visit on the MotoGP calendar. I mean, it is a magnificent venue and a fitting venue as well for the next instalment of Pecco versus Martin. Are you hashtag Team Pecco or are you hashtag Team Martin? Across all social media, you can get involved, pick your side. Who do you want to be world champion in 2023? And from the opening practice session of the weekend here in Qatar, it went the way of Team Martin. Jorge Martin, fastest in free practice one, ahead of Johan Zarco, with Team Pecco there in third. But probably don't look into those standings too much. The pace considerably slower, not only than this time last year, but from years previous as well. A huge electrical storm, thunderstorm last night that brought so much rain, biblical weather, has made the track a little bit sandier, a little bit dirtier than what it often is, meaning that the lap times are going to need a little bit of work. Hopefully, by the time practice gets underway, the hour-long session, which is going to be vitally important, that the guys have pretty much got 60 minutes under the lights to get their bikes prepped for the sprint and the Grand Prix, plus make sure they're inside the top 10 and automatically through to Q2. It's going to be an unmissable hour of MotoGP action where pretty much the weekend could hinge and could swing one way or the other. So that's coming up later on, and I imagine that the lap times should tumble quite significantly once that gets underway. So, welcome along then. 14 points the difference between Bagnaia and Martin at this stage, with now 4 point scoring opportunities remaining. And they've been busy as well. You might have seen on Instagram or even at the start of the show that the two title contenders were atop the skyline in Doha yesterday night. A magnificent shot that saw the pair of them either side of the MotoGP Champions Tower as they both look to put their name next to that of Bagnaia from 2022. In terms of what else happened in that session, well, there was quite a bit of drama, including the Muni VR46 man, Marco Bezzecchi, but that was after the checkered flag had gone out during the practice start session. It looks as though Pol Espargaro dived up the inside of him, and then Bezzecchi returned the favour, and then Espargaro did the same again, and then Bezzecchi did the same again, and then when Pol was parked up ready to do his practice start, Bezzecchi sort of rammed into his rear wheel. Not once, not twice, not three times, not four times, but 5 different times. So I'm sure the stewards may well have a quick look at that and potentially have a word with Marco Bezzecchi as a result. Let's see if we can walk and talk with Mark. Mark, just as you're on your way back, can I walk with you? What were track conditions like? A little bit dirty?
They are dirty, but it's normal. New asphalt. Yesterday was a big storm, so yeah. Apart of that, everything okay. Just take it easy this FP1, and now every practice will be better and better.
Good man. Enjoy the weekend.
Thank you. Bye.
There we go. Just saying that there's lots to come in the hour session coming up. So you've heard it from the man himself, the 8-time world champion, Marc Marquez, who of course is into his penultimate weekend now in those orange colours. Strange to think that a week on Tuesday, that man is going to be pulling on a different leather suit and be jumping on a different motorcycle as well. That's how close the Valencia test is now. But still, 10 days out from the Valencia test, no official confirmation who his teammate's going to be. As we see Miguel Oliveira down there, let's see if we can just swing round and grab a word with Miguel. Because if we do have a situation whereby grip is low and this new asphalt isn't particularly providing grip levels that we've had previous, and it may well be an opportunity for the Aprilia guys to cash in. An Argentina-esque weekend, maybe. Let's see if Miguel, we can just grab some thoughts. He's drinking away. He's going to try and drink that drink as long as possible. How was that?
Good. We saw the sunset going into turn 10, so lovely. Yeah.
Very nice. Make some nice Instagram photos for later.
Yeah. Track was really dirty, but hopefully now in the afternoon, evening, will be a bit better.
Good man. Go and enjoy it later on. Cheers. Nice to chat with Miguel as ever. Yeah, it does seem like, as is often the case here at Qatar, the conditions change so drastically from the sort of daytime sunshine sessions, shall we call them, to the nighttime sessions, that often whatever we see in the early afternoon, the mid-afternoon when the sun is shining, doesn't count for anything really. There's no data to be gathered whatsoever, apart from for the rookies learning when to go left and when to go right. But the conditions are so drastically different. Once the lights come on, once the sun sets, the temperature obviously drops dramatically. So as a result, everybody's looking to these sessions coming up at Moto3, Moto2 and MotoGP of using it to get themselves ready for the weekend. So that's why, if you're watching us from this part of the world, wherever you are, get yourself nicely settled in ahead of what's going to be a big weekend ahead. Has our cameraman injured himself? Are you okay, Amadeu? Looks as though he's got a bit of a limp on here. Have we got an injury? Do we need to go to the medical centre? He's got a bit of a limp on. He must be struggling. I would grab a word with Pablo Nieto here, but he's just chatting away with Ucho at the moment. Bit of a wave with Colette Nieto as well. I'll leave it, or can I have a quick word just whilst he's chatting away? Just very quickly,
Yes.
what happened with Marco at the end?
We have to see everything, but nothing. Just say hi to the riders.
Do you think the stewards might have a look at that? Have they said anything to you?
No, at the moment, no. I think he was just like a little bit funny. It wasn't something hard or something like that.
Okay, I'll leave you to it. I'm going to come find you, by the way, later on today. I've got some questions to ask you about who your riders might be next year.
I cannot hear you very
No,
good.
I'll save it. I'm not going to ask now. I'll give you some hours to prepare some answers, but I'm going to come find you later.
I will be ready.
Look forward to it. Thanks, Pablo. Because, of course, rumours continuing to link Luca Marini, who was a part of the MotoGP podcast with Fran Wild yesterday, and pretty much confirmed. Well, he didn't actually pretty much confirm, but he certainly didn't deny the strong links with him to the Repsol Honda seat, constantly saying that a project like that, being a full-time factory rider, is definitely something that interests him. We expect that to happen. What we don't know is who his replacement is going to be at VR46. Valentino Rossi, Ucho Salucci, Pablo Nieto, all looking at, as we see, Paolo Campanotti waving along. There's Paolo Ciabatti in the middle, and that's Diego Lavano, I believe. I can't remember his surname. I know it's Diego anyway. On the right-hand side is Fabio Di Gianantonio's manager. So interesting discussions there, because it does look as though Did you potentially still in the picture, as I was saying, for that final Mooney VR46 seat? The huge name, or the big link at the moment, is Fermin Aldeguer, the man who has won back-to-back Moto2 races, only 18 years of age, an obvious talent, but he does have a contract for next year with Luca Boscoscuro's speed-up team. Talk is that the payout for that is quite large, more so for a MotoGP team than it is for a fellow Moto2 team. So, if it was to be the case, this is all paddock rumour, that Boscoscuro less than happy to allow his star man to leave for the MotoGP ride next year, and he's asking for a large sum of money to be able to release from his contract. That opens the door to potentially Fabio Di Gianantonio, potentially Tony Arbolino, Alonso Lopez, another name that has been linked, but he's pretty much in the same boat, as he's also tied to a Boscoscuro contract as well. Also talk that we might see Jake Dixon in the frame, although he signed another year with Aspar. Whilst Gresini were waiting to hear from Marc Marquez, it was made clear that despite that contract, he is going to be allowed to leave for a MotoGP seat if an offer was to come his way. So did you still in the mix for that? But he also stressed yesterday that Moto2 and World Superbikes are not an option for him. He's not wanting, at his age, 25 years of age, to take a step back to Moto2 or to move across to the World Superbike Championship. So potentially those conversations there involving his manager, involving Paolo Ciabatti, might involve the making of a slightly new role in MotoGP. We know that next year is the longest season ever. There's more race starts than ever, 22 Grand Prix, 22 sprints. It's been well publicised to the fact that there's been injuries across the board. Pol Espargaro will be stepping into a, what can we call it, reserve rider, a sort of substitute waiting in the wings to step in. We believe that there may well be an increase in wildcards next year, so potentially Didier might be looking at a role like that within the Ducati ranks for next year, which means that he's available to step in on any of the 8 Ducati machines if any injuries were to occur, which, you know, gives him an opportunity on top of wildcards as well to showcase his talents and prove that he deserves a permanent slot in 2025. Hello, how are you? No, don't worry, I was saying hello. Just trying to chat to some Qatari fans here. So I think that is about that then. Let's finish this way then, because we've walked ever so slightly in this direction, but I want to show you the boxes on this, the left-hand side here. You can see nominated where each team is, where each garage is, from Repsol Honda to RNF to Aprilia. A good opportunity to tell you as well that we play football again on Wednesday night. I was playing for RNF and we won again. Aprilia, that's now 2 losses in the space of a week for them. Massimo Rivola, Maverick Viñales, Manu Cachot, plenty of others on the Aprilia team as well. And once again, just capitulating in a final 5 minutes. So work to be done for the Noali squad when it comes to the football front. Back-to-back wins for RNF now. And this is what I want to show you, because this is what it's all about as well. Right down at the bottom of this brand new paddock, Pecco versus Martin. 14 points now splitting them. Italy versus Spain. The factory man versus the satellite man. Both of them former world champions. One, a 2-time world champion in Pecco Bagnaia, looking to make it back-to-back MotoGP world titles and retaining that number 1 plate. And one, looking to make history by becoming the first man in the MotoGP era to be able to claim a MotoGP World Championship on a satellite bike. Who will it be? As I said, get involved on social media. Let us know, as many celebrities have been doing, which team you are on. Are you hashtag Team Pecco or are you hashtag Team Martin? It's all going to unfold this weekend here at Qatar. Another dust up, another duel in the desert. And then, likelihood is, we'll head to Valencia for a season finale in 7 days' time. So, join us this afternoon for MotoGP practice as we find out who's inside the top 10. And then join us for Inside the Paddock tomorrow as we preview what is going to be a spectacular sprint under the lights here in Qatar. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow.